Hello and welcome everybody to another Smite Super Builds. My name is Zelkenon. This is Anubis, and he was a very much requested Anubis and much needed to return an Anubis build because my last one, it was one of my first few, and it was back to the idea of super builds was that you'll just play builds that have insane stats and wasn't really too realistic and wasn't yeah. So now this is a very much realistic super build and a up-to-date build. Hopefully it remains up-to-date for quite a while if they don't keep changing things. So without further ado, let's go into the items. So actives. Anubis has no escapes whatsoever, except besides trying to cast your 2 out to mummy wrap them or place your 3 underneath yourself to kind of slow them down, give you some defense and hurt them, whatnot. So with that being said, you may need some defensive actives such as purification beads, so you don't have to rely on your ulti to be CC immune. And if you haven't noticed, also reduces your cooldowns by 5 seconds. It's pretty good. Next we have Aegis pendants. So you can be CC'd, but you're immune to damage. If you're fighting a lot of CC people, you may want to buy the other Aegis. If you don't really need this, you may want to buy sprints so you can run away or kite them around. Or you may want to buy Combat Blink. That's another really great active for Anubis. So you can just blink your way out of bad situations. So just keep that in mind. He has no real escape. So play smart. Next, Shoes of Magi. I'm just going to say this build has no cooldown reduction. It's up to you if you want cooldown reduction. If so, I'll go ahead and switch these boots up for the Shoes of Focus. So instead of 15 magical penetration, you'll get 15% magical, cooldown reduction. I don't know what I was thinking magical. There's so much magic in this build, it's ridiculous. So, moving on to more magic. Bancroft's Talon. So right away, I personally feel he needs more lifesteal. That way he can keep more sustained. And this is a really great item for that. It delivers 100 power, 12 lifesteal, and a really great passive. So, if they try to beat you down, like with your ulti is gonna do more damage. So obviously you should know, when you're using your ulti, you have to right click to cancel it and run away. Or else you're just gonna be standing there and you're wide open. You are CC immune, but you are susceptible for damage. So they can't just come up to you and start damaging you. But once that happens, you gain more power and your lasers will hurt even more. So it's a really great item overall. If you get Anubis in Assault, I typically pick this up first as my very first item by the full Bancroft's Talon. That way you have a lot of sustain, and I will go ahead and pick up Meditation. So there you go. Gem of Isolation. So this makes your 3 really just mess up people's day because they're gonna be slowed by 25%. And it's a more of like a tick damage, so you 3 will keep applying that Gem of Isolation over and over and over, so it makes it really hard for them to get out. And also applies its own slow, so it's 50% slowed once they're in there. Also keep in mind, it also applies to your ulti. So now with the recent buff with Anubis ulti, it deals more damage it hits 30 times, okay? I'll go ahead and open this up. As you see, if you're not aware of it, it hits once every 0.5 seconds for 3 seconds. So before it used to hit 10 times, now it hits 30 times, and it's actually a wider ulti. So it's a little bit easier to aim with it. And on top of Gem of Isolation, it'll also slow them. So it should be a little bit easier for you to land your ulti if you're not, a pro Anubis. So Spear of Magus, this also works really well for your ulti, your 1 and 3. Pretty much all your damage abilities are damage over time. So you can apply the Spear of Magus stacks really fast. So it gives you, the additional, power. But the 15 penetration and then the passive. So let's see, magical protection reduced by 10 and an additional 10% for 5 seconds. Maximum stacks of 2. So that's with 2 stacks, that's 20 magical protection reduced, and then 20%. So that kind of acts as like a obsidian shard without buying it. So I kind of like this more than obsidian shard for Anubis, just for that. And that's not counting the additional 15 penetration. So we have a lot of penetration going on right here, and that means your damage will be more of like true damage, like pretty much ignoring their magical defense. Next we have Pythagoras Piece. I typically don't buy this item too much, but it's a little bit, it's 300 more than Talon. Talon is 2,300, this is 2,600. This works well for him because you kind of do need that lifesteal as Anubis, because you don't have much escape, and its build has no magical defense as you noticed. But if you do feel like you do need magical defense, go ahead buy Void Stone, and that way you get your 50 plus magical defense. But your lifesteal kind of acts as your magical defense and also your passive sorrow. So you kind of, I guess you can call it leech or whatever, and this gives you more protections. So there you go. As you see here, news abilities steal physical or magical protection from the target and gang scaling items. So there you go, more lifesteal and more protection. So there's your answer for protection. So you can't get away without buying Void. So Pythagoras Piece, it gives you a lot of power. So you get 90 power total. So you get 70 from the what it already has, plus the Aura, and then more lifesteal. So it's 25% lifesteal and more mana. It's a really crazy item. I hope that the Aura still applies to you now. In the past it did, so hopefully that remains the same. Also, Tahuti to cap off that magical power. So overall, we have a little bit low health, but it doesn't matter too much. We have lifesteal. Our mana is fairly decent. MP5 is good from the Tahuti, and 594 magical power. It's quite a bit. So let's go ahead and go on. Oh, let me show you this. So this is our stats here. We have 37% lifesteal. I think that may not actually include the Aura. And then we have, a lot of mana, good MP5, and the penetration is really nice, 30 out of 50. That's not including the Spirit Magus stack. So let's go ahead and get our red buff here. So you see they're fairly slowed. They're dead. Then we have red buff. Now we have 703 magical power. So I'm going to use my 3 again, and this way you can see the stealing effect. So watch my defense. So we have 30 magical defense. This gets us up to 44, 51. There we go, 51. So it does kind of act, you get a little bit more tankier. And the Gem of Isolation does give you health and mana, so a little bit more health for you. So let's go ahead and use our Magical Might Potion. And let's try R3 again. So 300s, 400s there with our 1 and 3. Another thing I did want to bring up, if you tend to miss with your 2, your Mummify, you may want to buy cooldown reduction. Main reason because it's a 14-second long cooldown. Of course, that's even like leveling it all the way. So we got 11, 14, and 11. But our ulti is really cool. So it goes down from 90 to 70 by itself. So you don't really need that much cooldown reduction. So that's why I would say get these Shoes of Focus rather than switching out for a Chronos Pendant or Breastplate of Valor. Of course, some scenarios where you're fighting a lot of physical, you may want Breastplate of Valor. So this is my personal build, and feel free to use it. That's what I'm doing this video for, so feel free to take it, tinker with it, and kind of cater it to your own needs and your own play style. So that's just a disclaimer and whatnot. Let's go ahead and use our elixir. Now we're at 910 magical power, and stay tuned for probably like a couple more minutes, and you see some pretty nice damage output. Actually, I meant to grab that. Because I'm going to go use my ulti here in a bit, and you're probably going to like it. So let's go ahead and fight the fire giant. And you see the damages. Okay, so let's go ahead and use our 3. And then ulti, steal that damage. It's so much damage, it takes a second for it to catch up to him, and then boom. Yeah. So much damage at such a small time. It took a while for his HP bar to catch up to how much health he had remaining. And now we're finally with fire buff, fire giant buff, our 2 potions, our red buff. We're at 1,029 magical power. This is truly just a cannon right now. So that's so much damage right there. So much damage. So that pretty much wrap it up for this video. Thanks all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.